I'm going to turn the stage back over to Anayis and enjoy the second half of the show. Thanks.
All right. And if you want to know where I am, I do have a clipboard with a whale on it back there that has a spot for you to put down your name and email so that I can send out occasionally. Usually I do it a few times. Usually do it about once every quarter. I'm trying to do it a little more often, but where I'm going to be. All right. I'm going to start off with, we're entering yet another of my favorite microgenres, and that is robber ballads. I am very fortunate to be a working shantyman at Mystic Seaport, which means that I get to go and sing 19th century traditional music and the like at work. And so this last summer, I did what I called Robber Ballad Mondays, where I brought in a different one every single Monday for our session at the end of the day. I think this is one of the best of them. This is from the singing of Dave Weber. I am a gallant highwayman. My name is Tyne of Harrow. Born of honest parents bold, nigh to the hills of Yarrow. Forgetting of a maid with child, to England I crossed over, and from my parents I became a wild and a daring rover. Straight away to London I did go, where I became a soldier, resolved to fight Britannia's foes. No hero could be bolder. They sent me to some foreign shores, where the cannons loud did rattle. I tell ye, boys, I do not boast how I behaved in battle. And many's the battle I was in, through Holland and French Flanders, and boldly did my duty do, led on by bold commanders, till a cruel ensign called me out, and he had me flogged and carted. Such cruel usage they gave me, that soon I deserted. Straight away to England I did steer, as fast as winds could heave me. Oh, I haven't sung this in a little while. Could heave me, resolved that of my liberty no man could e'er relieve me. I slept at night in open fields, by all my friends forsaken, and I dare not tread the roads by day, for fear I would be taken. But being of great courage bold, and likewise able-bodied, I robbed Lord Lowndes on the King's highway, with my pistol heavy loaded. I clapped the muzzle to his chest, which caused him to shiver. 500 pounds in ready gold to me he did deliver. With part of my new store of gold, I bought a famous gelding that could jump over a 5-bar gate. I got him from Ned Fielding. Lord Arkenstone in his fine coach that I robbed at Covent Garden, and just 2 hours later that same night I robbed the Earl of Warren. One night at Turnham Green I robbed a revenue collector, but what I took from him I gave to a widow to protect her. For I only rob the rich and great, to rob the poor I scorn it, although it leads me to my fate, in iron chains adorned. And now to Newgate I must go, all by the law indicted, and soon on Tyburn's tree I'll hang, which makes me much affrighted. Farewell, my friends and countrymen, and my native hills of the Yarrow. Cruel Providence has seized the fate of Alan Tyne of Harrow. Isn't that a spectacular tune? I love it so much. All right. Something from the singing of the Copper family. This one, I might have even learned this one from my mother, but this is, I think, one of the more popular. If folks aren't familiar with the Copper family, they are a family that kept. Sorry, every time I start to talk, I can talk in the back of my throat. A family that kept traditional harmony singing going generation after generation and preserving these harmonies. And the sweet one. Oh, yeah, I agree. As I walked out on a midsummer's morning to view the fields and to take the air down by the banks of the sweet primroses, there I beheld a most lovely fair. 3 short steps I stepped up to her, not knowing her as she passed me by. I stepped up to her, thinking for to view her. She appeared to me like some virtuous bride. I said, fair maid, where can you be going? And what's the occasion of all your grief? I'll make you as happy as any lady, if you could grant to me some small relief. Stand off, you're a false deceiver. You are a false, deceitful man, I say, for it's you that's caused my poor heart to wander, and to give me comfort is all in vain. Now I'll go down to some lonesome valley, where no man on earth can e'er me find, where the pretty little small birds do change their voices, and every moment blows blusterous wind. So come all young men that go a-sailing, pray pay attention to what I say, for there's many a dark and a cloudy morning turns out to be a sunshiny day. I've always kind of thought there was something missing in between those 2 last verses, but... Variations on a story. This song, again, has many versions. Probably the better known one is called T is for Thomas. This is P is for Paddy. And I'm not going to charge you with remembering the whole chorus, but I will charge you with remembering that Johnny is the fairest man. One thing I like to point out, sorry, is that Several of the verses in this are straight out of House Carpenter. Interesting to think about. As I walked out one May morning to take a pleasant walk, I sat down beside an old stone wall to hear two lovers talk. Hear two lovers talk, he said. Hear what they might say, that I might learn a little more love just before I go away. P, it stands for Paddy, I suppose. J is for my man John. W stands for false Willie-O. But Johnny is the fairest man. Johnny is the fairest man, she says. Johnny is the fairest man. I don't care what anybody says. Johnny is the fairest man. Got that? Come and sit beside me, love, together on the green. It's a long 3/4 of a year or more since together we have been. Together we have been, she said. Together we have been. It's a long 3/4 of a year or more since together we have been. P, it stands for Paddy, I suppose. J is for my man John. W stands for false Willie-O. But Johnny is the fairest man. Johnny is the fairest man, she says. Johnny is the fairest man. I don't care what anybody says. Johnny is the fairest man. I'll not sit beside you, love, now or any other time, for you're in love with another poor chap, and your heart's no longer mine. Heart's no longer mine, he said. Heart's no longer mine. You're in love with another poor chap, and your heart's no longer mine. P, it stands for Paddy, I suppose. J is for my man John. W stands for false Willie-O. But Johnny is the fairest man. Johnny is the fairest man, she says. Johnny is the fairest man. I don't care what anybody says. Johnny is the fairest man. I'll go climb some high tree, rob a little bird's nest, and then I'll go and speak a little about the girl that I love best. Girl that I love best, he said. Girl that I love best, and then I'll go and speak a little about the girl that I love best. G, it stands for Paddy, I suppose. J is for my man John. W stands for false Willie-O. But Johnny is the fairest man. Johnny is the fairest man, he said. Johnny is the fairest man. I don't care what anybody says. Johnny is the fairest. Oh, Johnny is the fairest man, she says. Johnny is the fairest man. I don't care what anybody says. Johnny is the fairest man. All right. I was going to break it up, but I think I'm going to sing you a ballad and then do 2 tunes. Back to back. 3 tunes, technically. I would say being just past Halloween, but really I will take any excuse for a ghost story. If you know this one, please feel free to harmonize. My Willie sails on board a tender, and where he is I do not know. For 7 long years I've been constantly waiting, since he's crossed the Bay of Biscay. Oh, one night as Mary lay a-sleeping, a knock came to her bedroom door, crying, "Arise, arise, my dearest Mary, for to earn one glance of your Willie-O, Young Mary Rose put on her clothing, and to her bedroom door did go, and there she spied her own dear William, his two pale cheeks as white as snow. Oh, Willie dear, where are those blushes? Those blushes I knew long years ago. Oh, Mary dear, the cold clay has ashed them. I am only the ghost of your Willie-o. Oh, Mary dear, the dawn is coming. Don't you think it's time for me to go? I am leaving you quite broken-hearted, for to cross the Bay of Biscay. Oh, if I had all the gold and silver and all the money in Mexico, I would grant it all to the King of Erin, just to bring me back my Willie-o. My Willie sails on board a tender, and where he is I do not know. For 7 long years I've been constantly waiting, since he's crossed the Bay of Biscay. Now, following that, it is November, so in theory we should have had one of what this tune is called, which is Cold Frosty Morning. I am playing it as a hornpipe. It is played a few different ways, and I am combining it with Stortsmans hornpipe. I think those two are so delightful together, separately and together. Scoot back a little bit. Good enough for folk music. This is... I was going to say, this is one of the older things. The thing I'm playing after this is the oldest thing. So these are two of the oldest things that I have for you tonight. This is a tune, but has innumerable sets of words to it. So pick your favorite and sing it in your head. Roslyn Castle. Should take something out of my pocket first. The tune is called Roslyn Castle. I have to quiet this thing down. Nice. That's what I wanted to do. I have the most heavy-duty mute in the world. Which is more than my hands want to deal with today. So this is by far the oldest. Roslyn Castle, I believe, is from the 1600s. This one is from the 1500s. This is a piece that appears on the Trinity Carol roll, if anybody is familiar with it, which is the same thing. I believe There Is No Rose of Such Virtue appears initially on this. One of the Hail Mary Full of Grace tunes does as well. And I am playing singing and playing two of the original harmonization parts on it. tuning.
Our king went forth to Normandy with cross and meat of chivalry. There God for him wrought marvellously, wherefore England I call and cry, Deo gratias, Deo gratias Anglia, Rede pro victoria. He set a sage for Southford to sigh, to harp floor tune with rollerai, that tune he won and man of fry, that France shall rue till Thomas die. Deo gratias, Deo gratias Anglia, Rede pro victoria. Then set him forth our king comely, to Agincourt felt he fought manly, through grace of God most marvellously, he hath fulfilled and victory. Deo gratias, Deo gratias Anglia, Rede pro victoria. Then Lordes, Earls, and Baron were slain and taken, and that full soon. And some were brought unto London with joy and mirth and great renown. Deo gratias, Deo gratias Anglia, Rede pro victoria. Almighty God, he keep our King, his people and his well-willing. Give him good life and good ending, that we may call and softly sing. Deo gratias, Deo gratias Anglia, Rede pro victoria.
I learned that originally off of a tape that was the 1989 Bread and Puppet Domestic Resurrection Circus tape, which, as far as I know, only exists on my parents' shelf and nowhere else in the world. But it was the Second Line Social Aid and Pleasure Band doing that. But it is the same version if you listen to early music choirs doing it. It's the exact same thing. Mostly in the folk world, it is sung somewhat differently. I'm always running my mouth off and running my choruses too long. This is, let's see how I have time. I'm going to do at least one poem set to music to two if I have the time. This is a Robert Burns poem. Again, if you do know this, please sing along. Usually I'm singing at museum audiences, and so I can go, and this is your chance to come up with questions so I can drink my water. It's a neat trick when it works. Now westland winds and slaughtering guns bring autumn's pleasant weather. The moorcock springs on whirring wings among the blooming heather. Now waving grain wide o'er the plain delights the weary farmer, and the moon shines bright as I rove at night to muse upon my charmer. The partridge loves the fruited fells, the plover loves the mountain, the woodcock haunts the lonely dells, the soaring hern the fountain. Through lofty groves the cushat roves, the path of man to shun it. The hazel bush o'erhangs the thrush, the spreading thorn the linnet. Thus every kind their pleasure find, the savage and the tender. Some social join and leagues combine, some solitary wander. Avant away the cruel sway, tyrannic man's dominion. The sportsman's joy, the murdering cry, the fluttering gory pinion. But Peggy dear, the evening's clear, thick flies the skimming swallow. The sky is blue, the fields in view, all fading green and yellow. Come, let us stray our gladsome way and view the charms of nature, the rustling corn, the fruited thorn, and every happy creature. We'll gently walk and sweetly talk till the silent moon shines clearly. I'll grasp thy waist and fondly pressed swear how I love thee dearly. Not vernal showers to budding flowers, nor autumn to the farmer, so dear can be, why hast thou to me, my fair, my lovely charmer? Not vernal showers to budding flowers, nor autumn to the farmer, so dear can be, why hast thou to me, my fair, my lovely charmer. All right. I don't think I have time for the other one. I'm going to do one more Copper Family song and send us out with a shanty I expect to hear you all on. This is another of those dialogue love songs. And I think the first verse of this has some of the most spectacular language in the Copper Family rap. Come write me down, ye powers above, the man that first created love.
For I've a diamond in my eye, where all my joys and comforts lie. Where all my joys and comforts lie. It'll always repeat. I'll give you gold, I'll give you pearls, if you could fancy me, dear girl. Rich, costly robes which you shall wear, if you could fancy me, my dear. If you could fancy me, my dear. It's not your gold shall me entice to leave off pleasures and be your wife. For I don't mean nor intend at all to be at any young man's call. To be at any young man's call. Then go your way, you scornful dame, since you've proved false, I'll prove the same. For I don't care, but I shall find some other fair maid to my mind. Some other fair maid to my mind. Oh, stay, young man, don't be in haste. You seem afraid your time you'll waste. Let reason rule your roving mind, and unto you I will prove kind. And unto you I will prove kind. So to church they went the very next day, were married by asking, as I've heard say. And now this girl, she is his wife, she'll prove his comfort day and night. She'll prove his comfort day and night. May I stand this up to stand up? Can I stand up? Sure. All right. I expect to hear everybody on this one. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out tonight. Really wonderful to see and hear all of you. Once again, I've got an email list back there. I have my own lino cuts that I printed on note cards back there. And thank you. Please, of course, donate in the guitar into the library, and everybody drive safe home. Call all hands to man the capstan. See the cable running clear. Heave away, and with all will, boys, for New England we will steer. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea. Rolling home to old New England. Rolling home, dear land, to thee. Up aloft and in the rigging blows a wild and rushing gale, like a in the springtime, filling out each well-known sail, rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea, rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear land, to thee. And the waves we leave behind us seem to murmur as they go. There's a hearty welcome waiting in the land to which you go. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea, rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear land, to thee, rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea, rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear land, to thee. Thank you, everyone. All right. You have more to say? Oh, sure, if you want.
As people get in their coats, all join in.
Something you can all join in.
Yeah. Sing us out.
Oh, there is an ancient party at the other end of town. He keeps a little grocery store. The ancient's name is Brown. He has a lovely daughter, such a treat I never saw. Oh, I only hope someday to be the old man's son-in-law. And it's old Brown's daughter is a proper sort of girl. Old Brown's daughter is as fair as any pearl. I wish I was a Lord Mayor, Marquis, or an Earl, and blow me if I wouldn't marry old Brown's girl. Now old Brown sells from off the shelf most anything you please. He's got juice harps for the little boys, lollipops and cheese. His daughter runs the store and it's a treat to see her serve. I'd like to run away with her, but I don't have the nerve. And it's old Brown's daughter is a proper sort of girl. Old Brown's daughter is as fair as any pearl. I wish I was a Lord Mayor, Marquis, or an Earl, and blow me if I wouldn't marry old Brown's girl. Now, poor old Brown, he has trouble with the gout. He grumbles in his little parlor when he can't get out. But when I make a purchase, Lord, and she hands me the change, that girl, she makes me pulverized. I feel so very strange. And it's old Brown's daughter is a proper sort of girl. Old Brown's daughter is as fair as any pearl. I wish I was a Lord Mayor, Marquis, or an Earl, and blow me if I wouldn't marry old Brown's girl. Now, Miss Brown, she smiles so sweetly when I say a tender word. Oh, but Old Brown says that she must wed a marquis or a lord. I don't suppose it's ever one of those things I will be. But by jingo, next election I will run for Trinity. And it's Old Brown's daughter is a proper sort of girl. Old Brown's daughter is as fair as any pearl. I wish I was a Lord Mayor, Marquis, or an Earl. And blow me if I wouldn't marry Old Brown's girl.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.